So kind of random little thing happened today. There was a local on today. It was basically whoever wins gets a box. So I was just like, okay, might as well head down, see what I can do. I sucked. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I went 1-3, losing to pretty much anything that was remotely considered freaking meta, which was the part that freaking sucked. Yeah, I got smacked in the face by a bunch of stuff. So, this is the deck that I took with me to it. This is Dragon Rulers, but I'm also running Carbonodons as well in this sort of build as well. This little bauble right here, you might have seen one of my earlier videos where I recorded on DN and showed off the whole point of Carbonodon. I wanted to give this a crack. It is virtually Mythic Rulers with the Carbonodon sort of build. So it's Carbon Rulers, a Carbon Mythic Ruler, whatever you want to call it. But it's virtually just Mythic Rulers for the most part. So yeah, like I said, the deck didn't really do quite as well as I thought it would. I did a whole bunch of testing with this and it really tested out well, and then I just sort of ended up with dead hands, being out-resourced way too freaking much, considering how much this deck can just go plus and go insane. So might as well just show off the deck anyway. But here we go. So we've got the Dragon Rulers, most obvious. Kind of just, yeah, I'm not even going to say anything more about them. They are Dragon Rulers. I'm just shut up about them. 2 waters in a tree. I am kind of the type of player who likes to have targets for their trading and consonants and stuff like that. So that's the reason for the ratio of this. I was considering. Let me zoom in a minute. I was definitely considering running 2 and 2. I was just a bit weird about the Mythic Tree though, having only 100 beats. So I was just like, stick with it 1 for this point in time. Debris Dragon, obvious plays. Then double White Stone, double Blue Eyes to compensate for the draw, to provide food for the draw engines. So that's going into the vanillas. For the rest of them, I'm playing double Flame Vanguard for the synchro plays, and double Hyozan Root as my primary Carbonodon target. This basically, you get this with the Carbonodon and it doesn't require anywhere near as much food to be spent in order to get Dragon Rulers on the board, because Dragon Rulers need quite a lot of food and there's not quite as much of it as one would think. So Hyozan Root is definitely a bonus, and for Carbonodon to get that onto the board, what this actually does is banish it from the graveyard, special summon a level 7 or lower dragon type normal monster from the deck. So you can also go for Flame Vanguard to get it quickly out of the deck and get synchro plays. Its other effect is that it gains 1000 attack and damage calc whenever it battles a fire monster, which is almost certainly going to be irrelevant unless your opponent's got nothing but like a bear on board or something like that, but that's like once in a blue moon. So yeah, it's also a nice little combo that I had as well with it, is like if you already had a monster in your graveyard, you could get a rank 7 without having to banish anything by pitching this along with a Redox to get Redox back, and then removing this for the Hyozan Root. So you'd only just have to banish the Carbonodon and you'd have a rank 7. Very minimal food usage there, but I didn't get it off because shitty hands. One of the points of testing that I was doing for today as well was running one of each of these to see, basically just to see how they perform. Card Tripper did pretty well. I didn't get the Debris Card Tripper off, like to go into Black Rose. I did actually go into Black Rose once, but I had a Debris Dragon on the board and completely forgot that my opponent had dropped Max C, and so I just sort of like ended, and then he didn't do anything, and so I summoned Exploder Dragon and made Black Rose that way and managed to take that game. So these are pretty much there. Like Kree Bandit, I was running at 3. I did not like it at all, because I like most of the time, like for something like a trade in the cards of consonants, I'd get the cards and consonants off, and then I'd draw into 2 more Kree Bandits, which was horrible. Mathematician was pretty decent, although not so much. I found myself siding it out a fair bit. It was pretty much just there for the theory of getting Carbon on it into the grave quickly and get Hero's Own Rue on the board, and then if I had the play to make the rank 7, then I would, but most of the time I just didn't, so I'm probably going to go up to double card Trooper and stick with the 1 Career Bandit, because the 1 Career Bandit was pretty effective in its limited use, at least. 2 Max C, yeah, it's thing, and 1 Gauze, which I got off a fair few times, although, to be perfectly honest, it didn't stop me from losing the games in which I dropped Gauze. Except for maybe 1. I'm not too sure. I think this one, I think I dropped Gauze to get around a World of Prophecy round 4, and I think that was the only game I actually won after dropping Gauze. It's still pretty useful though, so I'm not gonna give it any crap. The spells: double Consonants, double Trade-in, Sacred Sword for the draw power. At least in terms of the spells, draw power in terms of the spells. I'm not using Upstart because I have better things to do than to suck Patrick Oben's cock. 1 Dragon Shrine, which is a bit dumb, honestly. I think this is easily better off run at 2. I'm just not too sure what I want to cut to get the second one in there. Not to mention Carbonate is a thing, and I think that it really kind of conflicts. The two really kind of conflict with each other, because you want to get Carbonate to get monsters, to get your vanillas on the board, and then the Dragon Rush is going to dump them into the graveyard, because Carbonate will only get them from the hand or the deck, so it's a bit of an issue. I'm probably just going to cut this outright, or maybe just stick to some like pure Mythic rulers and not run the Carbonate on anything, in which case it'll be easy for me to just throw the second Shrine in there. Gold Sark to get searches, Burial to get recycling, and then the double Soul Charge. Round 2 against Fire Kings, I Soul Charged into a Torrential. That's just how bad a day I had. That pretty much just tells you how shitty a day it was. Traps, Jar of Greed, which will probably make people start going, what the fuck. Because I did test Reckless, and I did not like it at all. I just don't like not having the draw phase to be... I like my draw phase to be pretty much alive all the time, and just not have dead turns where I don't draw anything new. That, and as stated before, Upstart Goblin is not exactly a thing I want to see, because, like, yes, this is slower and is easily susceptible to end phase MST, and then I just get screwed over by it. But my point here is, I do not want to give my opponent free soul charges, and like I said, I've got much better things to do than to suck Patrick Hoban's cock. So, just, yeah. Double Rekiki Break, just to clear problem stuff off. And a Torrential. Was running a Compulse in here, but cut the Compulse to get the one of each of the level 3 things going in there, so I could test them all. For the extra deck, the very obvious Felgrand, Dragluon, which I didn't see, Helio, which helped me a lot in that one game I won against Spellbooks. Giant Grinder, didn't see jack shit of it. Dracosac, Big Eye, got Fiendish Chain the only time I summoned it. Master of Blades, I saw this... Who did I see this against? I think I saw this against Fire King? Yeah, Fire King round 2, and I ran to a Mirror Force, so that just sucked. I was just sort of like anticipating like maybe a bear play or something like that, and it's just like, no. For rank 4s, Queen Dragoon and Abyss Dweller, didn't see either one of those. I had a 101 instead of the Abyss Dweller, but I decided to go for the Dweller at the last minute, just to clear out hands. But yeah, I didn't see either of them, so that sucked. Synchros. Star Eater, saw it once, again, got Fiendish Chained at the first opportunity the opponent had. Azure Eyes, it's a once in a blue moon thing, so of course it didn't happen. Stardust, it's a thing. Scrap Dragon, I saw a couple times. Crimson Blader, it got sucked up by Anorak once, it was annoying. And Black Rose, it's a game winner, because it obviously did win me that one game against Spellbooks. So that's the extra deck. Now for the side that I played, I rolled double Metion. This actually tested phenomenally well. Most of the time I like open with the both of these. But in the practice of the local, I saw this once and it was dead. It was seriously dead, and it just did not help me at all. Exploded Dragon, saw this once. Yeah, literally just saw this once against Spellbooks and used it to go into Black Rose. Third Max C, I did not side this in at all because I wasn't really playing against something like Hieratic Rulers or anything like that really just spam the special summons. Swift Scarecrow, sided this against Fire Kings, I think. Yeah, sided that against Fire Kings. System down, I sided this against Gear round 3, and I did not play it because I was trying to get over his Papal Operative, and that failed miserably, and so, and this was in game 2, so I went to go into the Redox and was a complete fucking idiot when I did so because Papal Operative was still a thing, so I just kicked myself fair in the freaking balls and scooped afterward. So, the one card that was actually useful for Gears, I saw it but didn't play it because I was too much of an idiot. Double Xyz Encore, never sided this in because I didn't have any Evil Soul matchups. Triple MST sided this against pretty much everything. I mean, there were some hat players there. Didn't see them. Didn't go up against them. And then Blackhorn, Solemn Warning. I don't think I even saw these. And Vanities. Vanities sucks. I can tell you this right now. Vanities is a terrible fucking card. It's just, it's just. I don't even know. I don't even know where to begin with this. It's just. It's never really good to use in this particular deck because it's just, you hardly ever have opportunities to get a board and then just lock you out of you lock yourself out of the opponent with Vanity's Emptiness. It's just like you get that you get that sort of shit, then you're just pretty much lucky. It caused some kind of disruption, but aside from that, it's just horrendous. I don't plan on playing it ever again. I'm probably just going to cut it for a couple of maybe Trap Hole Nightmares or something like that if I can get those. Or I can just run Void Trap Holes, which are just the cheap man's version of it. But that's pretty much it for this deck that kind of sucks. I don't know. Something about Dragon Rulers probably doesn't even fit my... I think it just doesn't fit my playstyle, to be perfectly honest, so... but yeah, I figured I'd just document it for the hell of it. Hadn't done a video in nearly 2 weeks, so... there's a standard local tomorrow. I'm going to be going to that. Going to be doing regular tournament report. I'm going to be running Gladiator Beasts over for that one. So hopefully I can get some more success with those buggers. So see you for those sorts of things tomorrow.